Hello, it's Ben at Fidelity Designs, making a couple of videos today, and this is one of them, showing you a turntable I've finished off. This is a turntable I built for myself a couple of years ago. I think I put a video on showing it before, but I've done a few tweaks to it to finish it off now. Based on an Ariston turntable that I had. Wasn't happy with the look of it, so I chucked it away apart from the platter, sub-platter bearing, motor and motor power supply board. Rest of it, chucked it away and started again. What we've got is a corner brace plinth in oak, and it's got a carbon Kevlar composite top plate, carbon Kevlar composite arm board with a end grain balsa core, and inside it's got a carbon sub chassis with an end grain balsa core. I think I've covered that before in another video. I like the look of this material, this carbon Kevlar weave. I wanted to use it, thought it matched the colour of the plinth quite well. Just like the look of it, so wanted to use it at the time. Won't be using it again because it's incredibly difficult to cut. Ended up cutting it on a bandsaw, and within one cut I'd lost all the teeth off my blade. Sparks came off the blade, teeth dropped off it, and I thought never again. So now I just stick to carbon fibre composite. You can see myself P12 under here. Trying to focus in on it a bit. Can't really see it, it's in the dark there, sort of underneath. And that's got the carbon composite top plate and arm board. So still quite like the look of this myself. Other people, some people don't like it, don't like the look of it, but I quite like it. Got a little green on and off switch there with a little neon in it. Let's have a look at the arm. It's a unipivot arm, carbon arm tube or wand, and we've got a carbon head shell there, fully adjustable. Let's have a look at the rear of the arm. Centre of gravity is really low. Pivot point's right at the top there inside that housing at the back, and it uses a peak bearing cup. Incredibly really low friction, hard wearing. Counterweight on the back, 2-part, you can remove half of it if you're using a really lightweight cartridge. A couple of outrigger weights either side to balance the arm. That allows you to adjust the azimuth of the cartridge, allows you to set it up absolutely spot on. And that little weight dangling down on a piece of monofilament is for the anti-skate or bias, and that can be adjusted by moving a little O-ring. If you can see it there on the arm that sticks out from the side of the housing, you can move that outwards to increase the anti-skate, the amount of anti-skate that you need to set your turntable up. Now that's really important with these unipivot arms, because the friction is incredibly low. They have, I was amazed at how little friction there is in the bearing. The turntable tracks incredibly well because there's quite a few scratches on this record, and usually it sticks with other arms. It'll stick at a certain point and you have to move it on. But this arm, it just tracks right through it. It's no point does it stick on the record. But what I found is using other arms that use bearings, so sorts of conventional sort of bearing arrangement, maybe something like an RB300 or something like that. There's always a bit of friction in the bearings, so although you do need bias, you don't need as much, because that little bit of friction in the bearings creates in essence sort of like a counteracting force as the arm tracks across the record, so you don't need as much bias. What I found with this, it's absolutely vital, because without any bias you'll hardly hear anything from the record at all. But when that bias is set up, you know, you hear the music play. But it's because of the, as I say, because of the lack of friction in the arm, it really needs that that bias, that force to ensure that the stylus in the cartridge is tracking the groove properly and not pulled to one side where it's either not picking up one of the channels or it's not picking up either of them properly. Got a bit of got some Litz tonearm wire coming out of the bottom there, and it goes to some RCA plugs on the back, and they're just mounted on a little machined acrylic block there. So it makes it really easy to plug a cable into the turntable. You can plug your own cable in there, and it's easy to unplug for transport. The arm, you can unscrew that. You can remove that housing off the back of the plinth there that the RCA plugs are in, and then you can lift the arm off its out of the little cup and just take it off, because they're quite delicate things, so you don't want to damage your bearing or your bearing cup. So just remove it if you're transporting the turntable in the car or whatever, and then you have to have a bit of patience setting these things up and just ensure that the bearing's inserted, that it's in the cup properly when you set it up. But really impressed. Works really well. Looks good as well, I think. So really good sounding turntable, and it's certainly an improvement on what it was when I bought it. So I'll do got another video that's going to be showing yet another motor power supply for the turntables that I wanted to show you. I'll do that a bit later on. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye.